welcome to Diamond Delight Edibles. My name is Liz, if this is the first time you stop by, and everybody else, thank you and welcome back. So today I am going to be showing you how to make homemade English muffins. Special ones. So before we get into everything, I just want to give a huge thank you to everybody who supported me with a cup of coffee. It really means the world to me because it helps me out immensely. Your donations definitely goes in towards helping me buy my ingredients, my tools, equipment, all the things that I need so that I can bring entertaining and informative videos to you. So once again, thank you guys who've donated. I appreciate it. And a huge special thanks to Sean. Your donation really meant a lot to me. So thanks again. And yeah, let's get on with it. So with my videos going forward, as I said, I have to be really careful about what I do. So in the video itself, you're not really going to see much of that product. I am going to have the information in the directions for you. So how to split up the ingredients so that you get a good balance of both. So please check out the ingredients if you need to know the split up. Otherwise in the video and stuff, you're not going to hear a whole lot about it. All right, guys. So again, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to let me know. And I hope you enjoy this video. Let's get into our ingredients and let's see what we need. And then let's get these puppies made. All right, so the ingredients that we're going to need for our yummy, yummy English muffins is 2 3/4 cups of all-purpose flour. You can use bread flour. They will turn out a little chewier than using all-purpose flour, but you can use either. 1 pack of quick or active, the quick rise or quick active yeast. 3/4 cup of milk at room temperature. 1/2 cup of water, again room temperature. 2 tablespoons of sugar. 1 egg, you guessed it, room temperature. And 3 tablespoons of butter. So you can either use your regular butter or you can use this butter. 1 teaspoon of salt, and we are going to need some cornmeal, or you can use semolina. All right, so those are our ingredients. There's not too much, so they're pretty easy. And now we'll jump into the equipment, and then we'll get to the exciting part of actually making them. All right, so the equipment that we are going to need is your stand mixer with the paddle attachment, a flour sifter if you're going to be combining your 2 different flours, your flour and your flour. If not, you don't need it. You're going to need the 1 cup, 1/2 cup, and 1/4 cup measuring cups, measuring spoons, a couple of bowls, a regular bowl, and a couple of larger mixing bowls. You're going to need a heavy bottom frying pan, or a cast iron frying pan is actually your best choice, and with the lid. And you're going to need about a 3-inch cookie cutter. I don't have my 3-inch, I've somehow lost it, so I'm going to be making heart ones today because that's a better size for it. A cookie sheet and parchment paper, saran wrap or plastic wrap, and a cooling rack. And that's pretty much all the equipment we need. I know it's a lot more equipment than our actual ingredients. All right, but let's delve right in and let's get these made. So the very first thing that we want to do is to wake up our yeast. So we're going to take our water, our milk, our 2 tablespoons of sugar, and what the sugar does, it activates, it wakes up the yeast, it activates it, and our yeast. Oops, no, hold on for the yeast for a second. Back that up. So we're going to combine our water, our sugar, and our milk, and we are going to put that in the microwave for 10 seconds just for it to become tepid. Tepid is warmer than cool and cooler than warm. It's kind of right in that middle there. So if your liquid is too warm or too hot, it's going to cook your yeast. So we need to get it just in that right temperature zone. So I'm going to nuke this for about 10 seconds. Just going to give that a little mix because we know with microwaves they never heat evenly. And make sure our sugar is mixed in there as well. Now we are going to take our yeast and sprinkle her on top. You just want to evenly mix that all over the top there. And we are going to set this off to the side and wake our yeast up. It needs a little time to wake up, just like a lot of us. So while that's doing its thing, we are going to add our flour. And it says 2 3/4 cups. Now when you're measuring out flour, it's important, don't do it over your working bowl, just do it over a spare bowl. And fill up your cup. And then either just take a straight edge knife or a spatula and just go straight across the top so that we're even. You don't want to pack down your flour. That's our 1. And that's 2. And our quarter makes 2 3/4. Yay! And then the extra flour, you're going to set it off to the side because we're going to need it later anyway to put on our counter there. Oh, look at me throwing flour everywhere. We're going to add our teaspoon of salt. Never pour your salt over your mixing bowl. And we're going to sprinkle that around. Sorry, we're going to need a whisk. If you're not, or you can just sift it. You can use a sifter or a strainer to sift it. I'm just going to use a whisk today. So I'm going to mix that around so that that the salt gets mixed in there evenly. I'm going to set that off to the side. And in a smaller bowl, I'm going to melt my butter. If you're using the other butter melted over a hot water bath, I'm going to just chuck this in the microwave for about 10 seconds. There we go. And we're going to take our egg, add it to our butter. You're going to need a fork. We're going to scramble the egg and our butter together. And now I said, just got to wait for our yeast to wake up. Now that our yeast is awake, we can combine all our stuff together. So we are first going to add our melted butter and scrambled egg into our yeast and milk and water. You get that mixed through. And then you want to set up your bowl with the paddle attachment, and we're going to start out low. So we want to pour this in while it is mixing. So we're going to do it a little slowly. And once that gets mixed together, we're going to turn it up to medium high and let that go for 7 minutes. So you want to have your dough looking like that. That's it, just let that go for 7 minutes, let the machine do the work. And then every once in a while, we want to scrape off the paddle. Take a spatula, just pull her down. Sticky stuff. Me being silly. Okay, so our dough is ready. Let's take her out of here. So what you want to do is grab another large bowl, get a little bit of cooking oil. Forgot to tell you that one. Little side ingredient. It's not really an ingredient. Put a little bit into a bowl, a little paper towel, get it all around so that the bowl is well oiled here. You want to go all the way up to the top. That prevents your dough from sticking while it's rising. Just get all that off the paddle. Then we're going to take our dough and, yes, it's stickier than a regular bread dough. That's okay, it's supposed to be. Drop her in. Now we're going to set this up to proof. So I'm going to show you how you can turn your oven into a proofing oven. Really simple. You want to get a baking sheet Place it on the bottom tray of your oven. You're gonna boil your kettle, boil some water. We're gonna need our saran wrap. I'm gonna take my saran wrap and I'm gonna spray a little bit of spray, cooking spray on it. That'll help the dough not stick to it if it ends up rising up that high. Just a little bit. A little spray will do ya. Place that on. Loosely, not tight. You just want to loosely cover it. All right, so you're going to take your bowl. Once your kettle is boiled, take your bowl, put it on the middle rack. Pull out your tray, and we're going to fill it with hot water, with our boiling water. Slide that back in carefully. Close the door. Turn your oven on to 400 degrees Fahrenheit for 1 minute. So we're going to leave that in the oven for about an hour till it at least doubles in size. Now, if you want to have even a more better flavor to your English muffins, let it sit in the oven or let it proof for 4 to 8 hours. But I'm only going for the hour because I am not that patient. All right, so we'll see you back once that's risen up. All right, guys. So look at that. My dough has more than doubled in size. You're going to parch line your cookie sheet. You're going to take some of your cornmeal or semolina. I'm going to say salmonella one time, I know it. No, I don't want you adding food poisoning to your, to the tray. Semolina. So just sprinkle some down here on the paper. This prevents them from sticking because it's a much stickier dough than a regular bread dough. I'm just going to move that off a little bit here. All right, so now we're going to take our dough, put your fist, don't punch it, just press down, deflate all that, and we're going to take it out of the bowl. Before we do that, sprinkle some flour, generous amount of flour here on your counter. And work our dough out. Ooh, nice. Sprinkle a little flour over top, and then you just want to start pushing it outwards. Just stretch it out here, and as I said, just keep working it with your fingers until it's about 1 inch thick. And what we want to do with our fingers is we don't want to use the rolling pin because we don't want to take out all of the air in our muffins. That's what gives us our nooks and crannies. That looks pretty good. Take your cutter, obviously. Make sure it cuts all the way through. And pick up your scrap dough. Then you can get your pan and then gently place them on. You're too skinny. You're too skinny. You don't look like a heart. So then just scoop up your dough, get it all back together. That's pretty good. And then you just keep doing the same thing until you use up all of your dough. So this recipe makes about 12. I'm stopping at 10. I'll do the rest after. Once you've got them all on the tray, you want to cover them again with some plastic wrap. And we're gonna let those sit for about 30 minutes to rise again, and then we'll get them cooked up. And then you get to see some, oh, wish we had taste division, because these are so good. All right, see you in about a half an hour. Alrighty, so the muffins have risen, and we are going to cook these up. So I'm just gonna flip the camera down so you can actually see what's happening with the cooking process. And yeah, we'll have some very shortly. Okay, so you wanna turn your heat on to low, and we are going to, whoops, wrong burner. That won't work very well. And you want to take some cornmeal, a little bit of cornmeal, and sprinkle it onto the bottom of your pan. And what this does is it prevents the dough from sitting directly on the heat there, and stops it from sticking. There is a purpose to things usually. Just going to wait for that to warm up a little bit. And as soon as you put your hand over here and you feel some heat, you're good to start cooking them up. So our muffins are ready for cooking. You want to turn your heat on to start at medium heat and let your pan warm up a little bit. You're going to add in some cornmeal. Now if you put it in and it starts smoking right away, your pan is too hot, so make sure to turn it down. I'm just going to start with some new stuff. And you're going to place your muffins on. I suggest if you have a soft frying pan this size, you want to just go with 3 in the pan at a time. Otherwise, as they expand, they'll stick together, and you don't want that. So you said you're going to put those in, put the lid on, and we're going to cook these for about 5 to 7 minutes till they're golden brown on one side. Flip them, and then we'll cook them about the same amount of time, 5 to 7 minutes on the other side again, until golden brown. Now, it's always a good idea to do a test muffin to start with, to make sure that your pan is hot enough, that it's not too cold, not too hot, that it's just right. And make sure that it's cooked all the way through correctly. Like I said, you just want to make sure your temperature is right. So do one test one first, and it's kind of like pancakes. Does anybody's first batch of pancakes ever turn out? Definitely not mine. So it's the same kind of thing you want to do. It's better to waste one than a whole batch. We're going to have a little look-see here. Very nice. That perfect English muffin color. My burner does not heat evenly. It really ticks me off. So again, got another 5 to 7 minutes on the other side. Now, if you do have a burner that does not heat evenly all the way around, every couple of minutes, every 1 or 2 minutes, just move your frying pan. So then that way, everybody gets their fair share. Have a little look-see here. Ooh, very nice. Just flip that, see if I get that other side toasted a little more. And then you would want to put them onto a cooling rack to cool down. And that way you want to use a cooling rack. The reason for it is so that they don't get soggy on the bottom. It has air going through the bottom and over the top. It looks good. So you always want to dump out your cornmeal between each batch and always add a fresh batch of cornmeal to a fresh batch of muffins. Alright, so I'm finding it's taking about closer to 10 minutes with this batch that I did. Last time I did them, said it took about 7-8 minutes. So it all varies. But then you just want to look for that nice light brown, golden brown on the bottom and the tops. Okay, our English muffins are ready. Look at those! Wow! Oh, I cannot wait to toast one up and get into that. Ooh, check these out. Oh, they smell so good. So I toasted one up here a little bit ago. Yum, yum, yum. Time for a try. Oh my God, these are so good. Honestly, if you start making these, I doubt you're going to go back to store-bought again. I know I don't want to. Well, that is everything that I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed this demonstration on how to make English muffins. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to put them down below. And as always, your coffees are greatly, greatly appreciated. Thanks so much for joining, and we'll see you again real soon. Next recipe up I'm going to be doing is apple pie filling. So not just the apple pie, not the whole apple pie, just the filling, because you can use that for so many other things besides pie. So I hope you look forward to that recipe. All right, again, guys, thanks so much. Have an awesome rest of your day.